Now, as I told you at the start of the program, it's our last Friday of the month special, and our topic for discussion today is youth unemployment. Here's more on that now.
With the rate at which youth unemployment has risen globally, the youth who fall into this category are often referred to as the young and the jobless. On the African continent, youth unemployment has become such a huge challenge that socio-economic peace and stability have become a clear and present threat. Studies show that youth who have little or no means of livelihood are very likely to opt for a life of crime, thus becoming a threat to the growth of a nation as well as security. Nigeria, which is Africa's most populous country, has experienced a huge escalation in youth unemployment. According to the National Bureau of Statistics, as at 2011, youth unemployment rate stood at 23.9%. As things stand now, youth unemployment has surged to a frightening 50%. The surge in the percentage of unemployment was one so huge that it was the topic which took center stage at the just concluded World Economic Forum in Davos. The consequences of youth unemployment are endless, ranging from illegal activities to scary investors. The possible solutions preferred are also quite a number, like inclusive growth and investments in agriculture. But one major solution is encouraging entrepreneurship. That's where the likes of makeup artist Temitayo Bello and manager of a dry cleaning service, Temidayo Mabinola, come in. They are both in their mid-20s and chose to stand out by becoming employers and not employees. It's not an easy decision to take, but it's one which they chose and is clearly paying off. Temitayo and her colleague have been making people beautiful for 3 years now, and she's created a reputation for herself in the makeup industry by paying attention to detail, because that's what it all comes down to at the end of the day. For Temidayo, he's been involved in the dry cleaning business for over a year now and can boast of the strength of 4 staff who are under him. It's important to note that it's not about the number of people at his disposal, but the quality which they possess and bring to the business. Entrepreneurship has its challenges, such as picking the right business, high startup cost, and dealing with the stress of not having a steady paycheck. But the benefits are endless, ranging from making a difference in the lives of others, reaping high profits, offering the chance to pursue one's interests, and helping people to fulfill their potentials. As long as the pros outweigh the cons, these 2 young entrepreneurs will tell you that it was indeed a risk worth taking.
Well, actually joining me in studio right now is makeup artist extraordinaire Temitayo Bello and a special dry clean service owner, Temidayo Mabinola. Now, what's exciting about my guests in studio right now, who you can see, is that they're actually in their mid-20s. Thank you very much for joining us on the program. Well, I want to start by asking you, it's a society where emphasis is placed on get good grades in school so you can get a good job at the end of the day. What made you decide to become entrepreneurs? I think I want to hear from you first.
Basically, in trying to be a better person, doing something real, and you know that you're actually making an impact in your life as well as the society at large.
Temitayo, what about you?
Oh, interesting. Back then, I've always loved independence. And in the university, those days, I've loved business. I used to do business. And back then in university also, I registered my company. So I've always had flair for doing business and all that. So finishing my NYSC was like, okay, the best thing I can just do is to continue the way I've started back then. So I didn't just limit myself. I continued where I stopped right there from the university.
But definitely, this is not an easy decision to make.
It's not an easy one.
What challenges did you face?
Yeah, when it comes, first of all, the finance challenge was the main one. I went all around, disappointment here and there, trying to get a location and all that, resources, because I had to go to learn this on my own. I paid money to someone who is more experienced. I learned this and within just short time, and before I knew what was happening, God provided the money and I had to set up myself.
Temitayo, how was it for you? Was it easy?
Well, basically, I had to secure a job at first in order to actually pursue my dreams, and it was a little bit difficult. I knew what I wanted to do, and I gave myself some time to put things together, and then I started off, basically.
So would you say it's paid off? I know you've been into this for about 3 years now.
Sure.
So how, looking at where you were 3 years back and where you are now, what's the difference?
It's a huge leap, I must say. Starting from back then and being here now, I mean, it's been a whole lot of work and sacrifice, even though we're still not where we want to be. I mean, we're not where we used to be. Yeah.
Exactly. Temidayo.
I've always loved business right from start, and thank God I started this business because I'm somebody that I always like increasing my capacity in every area I find myself. Okay, I set up this business March 9 last year, and just last month it clocked 1 year, and by God's grace I have 3 staff and 1 apprentice, and it has always been inside of me one way to increase what I have, multiplying, getting 1 plus 1 to make 5. You know, 1 plus 1 naturally is 2, but I always like making 1 plus 1 to make 5. So now, even apart from dry cleaning, right from the beginning, I've always been producing my soap and starch all by myself. So one thing I just believe about is everywhere we find ourselves as youth, we always increase because we are far more than what we can see ourselves. We are better, we are bigger than what you can see physically.
Speaking of bigger, you're giving me the aura of bosses. Now, how does it feel to be bosses? You know, not to have to say yes or no, sir. What does it feel like?
Feels good because nobody controls your time.
Yes, that's one of the benefits.
Yeah, one of the benefits, and you get to do the way things are done. Apart from I've had experiences when before my NYC back then, I've had experiences working with corporate organizations, you know, the ITs and all that. So the little experience I gained there, I've been able to transfer it into my own business.
If we're going to look at the benefits, is it about the money? Because do you think you would have earned more if you were working, if you were an employee?
Sure, I would have earned more. I haven't got an offer to work with Sterling Bank, but that was, you know, relationship and all that. But I neglected the fact that I've been planning on this for some time. So I didn't just want to neglect the dream. I had to pursue the dream. That was a distraction. Now I'm not making as much. Probably if I've been working in the bank, I would have been, probably by now I would have gotten a lot of assets to myself. But it's not about now. It's about the next 5-10 years.
So, Temitayo, at what point do you decide, okay, I'm not going to mix working for someone and my side job, if that's the case? At what point do you decide to let go of working under someone and venture into your own business?
Well, there's always been a dream, and it was just for the right time to come.
So as I'm asking, when do you know it's the right time?
Maybe if I begin to, I don't know, it depends. Maybe it will just come naturally, maybe when I feel that I really do not need to do this anymore, and I want to, my job gives me time, actually, to do what I do. And when it begins to get in line, I think I'd have to let it go.
So what advice do you have for, I need to emphasize again that both of you are in your mid-20s. It's not like you got to some age and said, okay, I'm tired. Basically just leaving school and then going and, you know, becoming entrepreneurs. So what advice, you know, do you have for those who are unemployed right now, who are, you know, probably looking for jobs? Like we know it's 50% of Nigerian youth are unemployed now. What message do you have for them?
Okay, I want to say this. It is best when you start early. And it is not when I get 40, when I get to my 40s and before I say I want to set up my business. The advice I have for young youth out there is to start with the little they have. I didn't have the money at the beginning, but it is what I had. I was able to use to get what I'm getting. I know I've not gotten all, but I know I will get there.
What about you?
Well, I think first of all, if you, as a person, I think wanting to do something great and good for yourself should actually come first. And we all have dreams, and a whole lot of people have had to let it go because they feel that it's not yet the right time. There's no money. There's no. But I believe that if you have a plan, you have a dream, it's just best to go for it. And one thing is, I always encourage people to be an employer of labor, in what capacity, any capacity you find yourself in. Try to help somebody. It's not about the money actually, because it's not like we've started making that huge money that you'd say that if I wanted to get another job that would pay me a huge sum of money, I would. But it's not about now, like he said. It's about the future. You want to keep working for somebody, or you want to be something in the society, and add your quota to the society. And in terms of being an employer of labor, I think it's just right now, the time is now. And my advice is that if you start waiting for something huge, or maybe you need 5 million to start a business, I think that's wrong. With the little you have, some people start this business in their homes without even having somewhere to go.
Well, I'm definitely inspired by your stories, and I want to say a big thank you for coming in. Temitayo Bello, who is a makeup artist extraordinaire, and also Temidayo Mabinola. Thank you so much. He owns his dry cleaning service, and they're both aged. They're both in their mid-20s. That's real. I really need to emphasize that. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. We really appreciate your time.